Picture this. The world outside my window is a blur of gray, a canvas of rain streaking down the glass like hurried brushstrokes, and I'm standing there, caught in the quiet hum of my own thoughts. My name is Sabrina, and at 33, I've built a life that most would call beautiful, even enviable. But beauty, I've learned, can sometimes feel like a frame too tight to move in. I'm married to Ethan, a man who's been my anchor for 10 years now. He's 35, a graphic designer with hands that craft worlds on a screen and eyes that see far more than he lets on. We met back when life felt like a gallery of endless possibilities, at an art opening hosted by a mutual friend. I remember the way we gravitated toward a bizarre, abstract piece, both of us tilting our heads at the same odd angle, laughing at how it made no sense but somehow spoke to us. That was the start of us, a decade ago, two souls drawn to the unconventional, finding home in each other. Ethan is my quiet strength, the steady pulse to my restless rhythm. While he designs with precision and calm, I'm a freelance writer, weaving stories that often skirt the raw edges of what people want but dare not say. My days are spent lost in words, in the labyrinth of human longing, and maybe that's why I've started to feel this ache. It's not loud, not a scream, but a whisper that's grown over time, a yearning I can't pin down or name. It sits in my chest, heavy some days, fleeting others, and I haven't dared to voice it, not to myself, and certainly not to Ethan. But he notices. Oh, he always does. I catch him watching me sometimes, his gaze soft but searching, as if he's trying to read the story I haven't written yet. After our most intimate moments, when the world should feel complete, I drift into silence. And he's there, his presence a gentle question mark, waiting for me to fill in the blanks. Our life together is nestled in a cozy urban apartment, a space that's all ours. It's a sanctuary of sorts, walls lined with books that spill over with ideas, art pieces we've collected over the years, some bold, some strange, and the ever-present scent of coffee that lingers like a signature. Mornings are often spent with Ethan sketching at the kitchen table while I type furiously on my laptop, the clink of mugs and the rustle of pages our soundtrack. It's safe here, warm, a place where passion still burns bright between us. And yet, lately, it started to feel small. Not the apartment itself, but the shape of my world within it. I find myself staring out that window more often, like I'm looking for something beyond the glass, beyond the rain, beyond what I can see. There was this one evening, not long ago, when the rain was coming down in sheets, drumming against the panes like a relentless heartbeat, and I found myself at the sink after dinner, the weight of the day still clinging to me. The clink of plates under my hands, the soapy water swirling in the basin. It's a mundane rhythm, almost meditative, but tonight it feels heavier, like I'm washing away more than just remnants of our meal. Outside, the city hums through the cracked window, a distant chorus of horns and muffled voices weaving into the quiet of our apartment. I'm lost in that sound, in the way it feels both close and untouchable, when I sense Ethan behind me. His presence is a warmth I'd recognize anywhere, a quiet force that shifts the air before he even touches me. Then his arms slip around my waist, strong and sure, and I feel the heat of his breath against my neck, sending a shiver down my spine that has nothing to do with the cool evening air. "Hey," he whispers, his voice low, almost a growl, but softened by something tender that makes my chest tighten. "I want to show you something new, but you have to trust me. No questions." His words hang there, a command wrapped in a promise, and my hands freeze on a soapy plate, suds dripping slowly into the sink. My heart kicks up a notch, curiosity spiking through me like a jolt of electricity, tangled with a thread of nerves I can't quite place. What could he mean by something new? Ethan's always been full of surprises, little detours from the ordinary, but there's an edge to his tone tonight, a weight that makes this feel different. I want to turn around, to search his face for clues, but before I can, he's taking my hand, his grip firm yet gentle, pulling me away from the sink without waiting for an answer. We move to the hallway, the familiar creak of the floorboards underfoot grounding me as I grab my jacket from the hook. My mind is buzzing, a swarm of unspoken questions I bite back because I promised. No, because he asked me to trust him. I slip on the coat, the fabric cool against my skin, and follow him out the door into the night. The city air hits me like a slap, crisp and sharp, carrying the scent of damp concrete and exhaust. The lights blur as we descend the steps of our building and slide into our old sedan, the seats worn and familiar, cradling us like an extension of home. Ethan starts the engine, the low hum vibrating through me, and I steal a glance at him. His fingers curl around the steering wheel with a quiet intensity, the faint glow of streetlights catching the angles of his face. The scent of his cologne, woodsy and warm, mixes with the musty air of the car, and I focus on these small things to anchor myself against the unknown stretching ahead. We pull away from the urban sprawl, the city shrinking in the rearview mirror as the roads grow narrower, the streetlights thinning until they're swallowed by darkness. Buildings give way to open fields. As the car slows to a stop, the gravel crunching under the tires, I feel the weight of the unknown pressing against me. Ethan cuts the engine, and the silence that follows is almost suffocating, broken only by the distant howl of the wind. I step out into the chilly night, my boots sinking slightly into the uneven ground, and I'm met with the looming silhouette of an old villa, its jagged outline barely visible against the moonless sky. The air out here is different, heavy with the scent of moss and decay, and I pull my jacket tighter around me as Ethan takes my hand again, leading me toward the entrance. My pulse is a wild thing, hammering in my chest, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm stepping into something I won't come back from unchanged. At the threshold, a tall figure emerges from the shadows, a man dressed in black, his presence as imposing as the villa itself. He gives us a curt nod, his face coming into view under the faint glow of a lantern hanging by the door. "I'm Victor," he says, his voice rough like gravel, scraping against the quiet night. He's older, maybe in his 50s, with sharp features that seem carved from stone and an air of authority that makes me straighten instinctively. His tailored suit looks out of place against the crumbling facade of the villa, but he wears it like armor. Without another word, he turns and gestures for us to follow, pushing open the creaking double doors with a practiced ease that tells me he's been here many times before. Inside, the air is thick, saturated with the smell of aged wood and something sweeter, almost intoxicating, that I can't quite place. The grand foyer stretches out before us, a relic of faded splendor. Peeling wallpaper clings to the walls like old skin, and tarnished chandeliers hang overhead, their crystals dulled by time, casting weak shadows across the floor. My eyes dart around, taking in every detail, every crack in the marble beneath my feet, as Victor leads us deeper into the villa. We move down a dimly lit hallway, the walls closing in, and I feel Ethan's hand tighten around mine, a silent reassurance, or maybe a warning. The silence is oppressive, broken only by the echo of our footsteps and the occasional groan of the ancient structure settling around us. We stop at a smaller room, and as Victor pushes the door open, a wave of warmth spills out, a stark contrast to the chill that settled into my bones. Flickering candles line the space, their golden light dancing across dark, paneled walls, and the scent of wine and wax fills my lungs, rich and heady. In the center of the room stands a large bed, draped in heavy, dark curtains that seem to swallow the light, turning the space into a cocoon of shadow and warmth. My breath hitches as Ethan guides me closer, his touch firm but gentle, his voice soft as he leans in close. "Lie down, Sabrina," he murmurs, and there's a weight to his words that makes my heart pound harder, a mix of fear and anticipation twisting in my gut. I comply, lowering myself onto the bed, the cool silk of the sheets sliding against my skin like a whisper. My limbs tremble slightly, a shiver running through me as I settle back, my breath catching in my throat. Ethan's presence is a steady anchor beside me, and then I feel the soft fabric of a blindfold being draped over my eyes. Darkness engulfs me, sharp and absolute, and my other senses flare to life, every sound, every touch magnified. "I'm with you," Ethan whispers, his voice a lifeline in the void. "You're not alone." His hand grips mine, grounding me, and I cling to that connection as my mind races, trying to anticipate what comes next. Then I hear it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, multiple sets approaching across the hardwood floor. 1, 2, 3 distinct rhythms, each one a separate presence, and my stomach tightens with a jolt of unease. A hand, not Ethan's, brushes against my wrist, the touch light but electric, sending a shock through my system. Another grazes my stomach, deliberate and unhurried, and I fall. The last of those unfamiliar footsteps finally fades into the distance, leaving behind a silence so thick it feels like it could choke me. I'm still lying here, the cool silk of the sheets clinging to my skin, my chest rising and falling with breaths that come too fast, too ragged. The faint crackle of the candle wicks is the only sound now, a soft, erratic pulse in the stillness of the room. Ethan's hand remains in mine, warm and solid, an anchor I'm clinging to with everything I've got. But even that familiar grip can't steady the storm raging inside me. My mind is a tangled mess, a whirlwind of questions and emotions I don't know how to name, let alone sort through. The blindfold still covers my eyes, its weight both a barrier and a strange kind of comfort. It's a shield, keeping me from having to face Ethan, from seeing whatever might be in his expression right now. But it's also a prison, trapping me in this darkness with nothing but my own thoughts and the echoes of what just happened. How did he arrange this? How long had he been planning it? Did he know I'd surrender to it? That I'd let myself be carried away by the unknown, by the thrill of it all? And if he did, what does that say about me? Am I still the woman he married? The Sabrina who stood beside him at the altar 10 years ago, promising forever in a voice full of certainty? I don't know anymore. I don't know who I am in this moment. And that uncertainty gnaws at me, sharp and relentless. My skin still hums with the memory of those touches, foreign and fleeting, each one leaving a phantom imprint that lingers even now. Whispers I couldn't quite make out echo in my ears, their tone more felt than heard, stirring something deep within me. It's a sensation that clashes violently with the familiar warmth of Ethan's hand, the steady pressure of his fingers entwined with mine. His touch is home, safety, everything I've known and loved for a decade. But those other sensations, there's something else entirely, something wild and uncharted, and I'm caught between the two, torn in a way I never expected to be. My body feels like a battlefield, every nerve ending raw and exposed, and I can't tell if I'm trembling from the cold of the room or from the weight of what I've just experienced. There's a shame creeping in now, heavy and suffocating, wrapping itself around my heart like a vice. I've crossed a line tonight, one I can't step back over, no matter how much I might want to. I let myself go somewhere I never thought I'd go, and even though Ethan was here, even though he guided me into this, I can't shake the feeling that I've betrayed something, maybe him, maybe myself. But beneath that shame, there's something else, something I'm almost afraid to acknowledge. It's a flicker of liberation, a sense that a part of me I've kept buried for so long has finally clawed its way to the surface. It's as if I've been holding my breath for years without realizing it, and now, for better or worse, I've exhaled. I don't know what that means yet, but it's there, undeniable, pulsing alongside the guilt. Ethan hasn't said a word since it ended, and his silence is louder than anything else in this room. I strain to hear something, anything, in the rhythm of his breathing. A hint of judgment, a trace of regret, anything that might tell me what he's feeling. But there's nothing, just the steady in and out, maddeningly neutral. Is he angry? Disappointed? Or is he as lost in this moment as I am? I want to ask, to break through this wall of quiet between us, but my throat feels tight, the words stuck like stones I can't swallow or spit out. My fingers tighten around his, a silent plea for some kind of sign, but he doesn't move, doesn't respond. The uncertainty is unbearable, a weight pressing down on my chest until I can barely breathe. Finally, I can't hold it in any longer. My voice comes out shaky, barely above a whisper, as I feel the blindfold start to slip. It's a slow unraveling, the fabric loosening just enough for a sliver of dim light to pierce through the darkness. I blink rapidly, the faint glow of the room stinging my eyes after so long in the void. My vision adjusts, and there he is, Ethan. His face inches from mine, so close I can feel the warmth of his breath mingling with my own. His hazel eyes are soft, yet intense, holding a seriousness I've rarely seen in them before, like he's carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken thoughts. His jaw is set, but not in anger. There's a quiet determination there, a resolve that makes my chest tighten. His brow is slightly furrowed, as if he's wrestling with something heavy, something he's not sure how to put into words. The flickering candles cast long, wavering shadows across his features, highlighting the sharp angles of his cheekbones and the faint sheen of sweat on his forehead. It's a small detail, but it hits me hard. Proof of his own tension. Evidence that this moment, this night, has taken as much out of him as it has out of me. The room feels smaller now, the walls pressing in despite the vastness of the space around us. The air is thick with the scent of melted wax and the lingering trace of something sweeter, almost intoxicating, that I still can't place. My gaze is locked on Ethan's, and I try to speak, to say something, anything, to break the suffocating silence that's settled over us. But my voice catches in my throat, a lump of emotion I can't push past. No words come. Instead, I search his eyes for judgment, for any sign of rejection, for a hint that what I've done, what we've done, has broken something between us that can't be mended. My heart is pounding so hard, I'm sure he can hear it, each beat a desperate question I don't know how to ask. Then he speaks, his voice low and steady, cutting through the haze of my thoughts like a lifeline. Now you know I'd do anything for your desires. Next time, you can choose, even all at once. His words hit me like a physical force, a wave that crashes over me and leaves me reeling. There's no condemnation in his tone, no anger or disappointment. Instead, there's absolution, woven into every syllable, and something else, an invitation, a promise of freedom to explore the depths of my longing without fear. My breath catches again, but this time it's different. It's not panic or shame. It's a sudden, overwhelming relief that washes over me, so powerful it almost brings tears to my eyes. He's not pushing me away. He's not looking at me like I've shattered our world. He's offering me a partnership, a shared journey into this uncharted territory, and the weight of that realization is staggering. A flood of emotions surges through me, each one vying for dominance as I try to process what he's just said. There's gratitude, deep and raw, for his understanding, for the way he's seen into the parts of me I've kept hidden, even from myself. There's a renewed sense of connection, a thread between us that feels stronger now, forged in the fire of this night rather than broken by it. And beneath it all, there's a flicker of excitement, a spark at the prospect of next time, at the idea of stepping into this unknown with him by my side, no longer hiding from what I want. The betrayal I felt so acutely just moments ago, the guilt that threatened to drown me, is reframed in an instant. It's not a betrayal at all. It's something shared. Something he orchestrated out of love, out of a desire to give me what I couldn't even admit I needed. This wasn't just about pushing boundaries. It was about trust. About him knowing me better than I know myself. My hand moves almost on its own, reaching up to cup his cheek, my fingers trembling as they brush against the roughness of his stubble. It's a small gesture, but it feels monumental. A silent thank you for everything he's given me. As I sit on the edge of the bed with Ethan, the room around us has grown still, almost reverent in its quiet. The candles, once tall and proud, now burn low, their wax pooling in messy, uneven circles on the tarnished holders, dripping like silent tears. The flickering light casts a warm, golden haze over everything, softening the sharp edges of the dark-paneled walls and the heavy curtains that drape the bed. My body still hums with the aftershocks of everything I've felt tonight, a lingering vibration that courses through my veins, but my mind feels clearer than it has in a long time. It's as if the darkness of the blindfold didn't just obscure my vision. It stripped away the layers of pretense I've worn for so long, leaving me raw, exposed, and somehow more honest with myself than I've ever been. I turn my head slightly, catching Ethan's profile in the dim glow. He's sitting close, his shoulder brushing against mine, and I can feel the heat of him, the steady presence that's always been my anchor. There's a weight to this silence between us, a heaviness that presses down on my chest. But it's not uncomfortable. It's intimate, more so than any words could ever be. It's the kind of silence that holds everything we've been through tonight, every unspoken thought, every shared moment of vulnerability. I don't need to speak, and neither does he. Instead, I let a small smile curve my lips, a quiet, wordless gesture that carries the weight of my gratitude, the depth of my love, and a subtle nod to the unknown that stretches out before us. I see the corner of his mouth twitch in response, a mirror to my own expression. And in that tiny movement, I feel the reassurance I didn't even know I was seeking. We don't linger in that room much longer. There's an unspoken agreement that it's time to leave this space behind, to step back into the world beyond these walls. As we rise, I feel the cool silk of the sheets slip away from my skin, a final whisper of the night's intensity. Ethan takes my hand, his grip firm and familiar, and together we walk out of the room, the faint scent of melted wax trailing behind us. The hallway feels different now, less oppressive, though the creak of the floorboards still echoes under our steps. At the entrance to the villa, I catch a glimpse of Victor standing in the doorway, his tall, shadowy figure framed against the faint light spilling from within. His face is unreadable, his sharp features as stoic as ever, but there's a slight incline of his head as we pass, a gesture that feels like a silent acknowledgement. I don't look back as we step into the cool night air, the forest around us whispering with the rustle of leaves and the distant call of some unseen creature. The chill bites at my skin, a sharp contrast to the warmth we've left behind. But Ethan's hand in mine keeps me grounded. The drive home feels like a slow unraveling, a gradual return to something familiar yet irrevocably changed. The hum of the car is a low, steady drone beneath us, vibrating through the worn seats as the darkness of the countryside gives way to the first glimmers of city lights on the horizon. I stare out the window, watching the world blur past in streaks of shadow and faint illumination. My reflection a ghostly overlay on the glass. Ethan's thumb brushes over my knuckles every now and then, a small, deliberate touch that sends a ripple of warmth through me each time. It's a quiet reassurance, a reminder that he's here, that we're in this together. The scent of the night air clings to us, mingling with the faint musk of the car's interior, and I let myself sink into these sensory details, anchoring myself in the moment as my mind wanders. I can't help but think about how this night has shifted something fundamental within me. It's not just about what happened in that villa, not just about the boundaries we pushed or the desires we explored. It's about rediscovering a part of myself I didn't even know was there, a hidden corner of my soul that's been waiting patiently to be illuminated by the light of newfound freedom and self-acceptance. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.